do a little bit of a disclaimer. I've definitely got the back to school croaky throat happening. And I'm an emotional wreck already, so I will try and get through this without either of those things being an issue. And I'm sorry, I have a lot to say. I mean, I joke about this all the time, we have a lot to say, so I have written it down, but I'll try not to make it too much of reading. Okay. So I grew up in a loving Christian family with parents that were leaders of a church. I can't fault my upbringing at all. We were a close family, just as we are now, and I love them to bits. I was committed to Sundays and grew up wholeheartedly believing in the teachings of Jesus. I was baptised at the age of 11 on the 15th of September 1996, almost 26 years ago, giving away my age now. But yeah, after a couple of difficult years of bullying in middle school and a rocky start to high school, I felt like I didn't fit. I'm like only 5 lies in. I felt like I didn't fit and I grew distant from God. I didn't mean to, I didn't plan to, it just sort of happened. I didn't have any close Christian friends my age and I began to drift. I grew into my teens longing for close friends and a sense of acceptance. Life quickly took a hold of me, and by the time I was 16, I was going to parties, drinking, and soon mixing with an older crowd. I was tall for my age and mature. I felt like I finally fit somewhere, and it was fun. I spent my older teenage years constantly seeking peer acceptance, especially from boys. I was very critical about myself, about my height, about my looks, about my weight, so I focused on other ways to get attention. I used my ability to handle alcohol to be seen as cool and fun, and my sarcastic sense of humour to become one of the lads, always up for a laugh. I would become fixated on what people thought of me and being wanted, and I was massively insecure. I first met my then-to-be husband when I was 17, and following an on-again, off-again relationship, we got back together when I'd just turned 22, and for the next 13 years we had a roller coaster relationship. There were highs and some very steep lows, yet I'd committed to the relationship, I believed in marriage, and so I just got on with it. God didn't feature in my life at this stage at all. On the rare occasion anybody asked, I'd say I did believe in him, but I wasn't an acting Christian, whatever that means. During this time, though, I threw myself into work as an events organiser, my job at the time. I needed to be the best that I could be. I constantly strived to make other people happy, fulfil what they wanted or expected of me, often to the detriment of my own happiness and fulfilment. Thinking that I'd eventually find it in the work that I did enjoy, organising the socials or whatever hockey club we were part of, drinking, going out, being fun, or in what I thought was my fairy tale childhood love story. I was always waiting for that lightning moment. It had to happen soon, right? But on the 29th of February 2020, my husband and I got to the point where we knew we couldn't be married anymore. Yet it was a relationship that I'd become so reliant on that I didn't know who I was without him. I sat the morning after, on the 1st of March 2020, and remember thinking, I've got no idea who I am without him. And then it came to me. The only thing that I could think of from my life before him, something that was truly just mine, was that I used to go to church. I searched around online for any familiar Isle of Wight churches, and as this was pre-COVID, there weren't many online services to find. But I came across Bethany Church, which had some recorded sermons online. I clicked on a random recent one, and it was the story of the prodigal son. I felt God's presence and love. I burst into tears and recommitted to God. There a minute. So rubbish at this. So less than 3 weeks later, we went into lockdown. The first lockdown, where I had to continue to live with my separated husband. Although this wasn't easy, I believe that God had a hand in our separation, and we actually had the easiest 4 months that we'd had in a long time. God worked miracles from day one. Not just peace and calm and an easing of anxiety that I'd had for years, despite the uncertain situation with the world and obviously me personally. But I followed an online church, started an online alpha course, and opportunities arose. A job on the Isle of Wight, a place to live in the exact place that I wanted to be, someone to live with, as I was really nervous of living on my own, and all my family back on the island around me. So that should have been the end, right? I'd moved back home to all of my family. I was back in touch with God. I loved my job. I had friends. I was happy. I'd started going to a church in Newport. Life was good. Well, it wasn't the end. Real life opened up again. And in June 2021, I decided that maybe it was time to get back out there. And this meant dating apps, which was a crazy alien concept to me. Then going out, and then old habits die hard, a lot of drinking. And bad choices quickly followed. I kept telling myself that I hadn't had my blowout since my marriage breakdown, so it was okay. But that was just an excuse. I was searching once again to fill a void, to be wanted, needed, loved. I was looking around at all my friends and family in settled relationships, feeling like I was back where I'd been in my early 20s. But it started to get a bit out of control. I had blackout nights, I spent whole days in bed, I binge ate, I hated myself for my choices, and often said, I'm never drinking again. That was, of course, until Friday came along and my friends would ask if Party Char was coming out. She was, always. So I stopped going to church because I was often too tired or too hungover, and I was embarrassed of myself, and I spiralled. So it was the January just this year, and I decided enough was enough. I told myself I had to be different. I needed to go back to church. This wasn't making me happy anymore, and actually I had felt happy just a few months before. I started looking for a more local church, and Mum told me of a new church plant that her friend had recommended. Absolutely no way. I 100% did not want to be part of a new church. I just wanted to rock up, blend into the background, not have to talk to anybody, and then leaving without having to do anything. But I said I'd go, just once, to keep Mum company. COVID finally caught up with me in time for the opening week, but I wasn't let off the hook. I came along on the second week instead, and here I still am. My second week back in church, I signed up to Alpha again, which has changed my life again. The people, the teaching, the discussions, the friends, the support. I can't tell you what that course and that group of people, now my good friends, have done for me. I've always struggled with being open about how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. It's this bit. I hate sympathy and I get really uncomfortable when people know too much, which is pretty ironic right now. But in that group there was never judgment, they just listened. And because of that Alpha course, I'm now more honest with myself and others than I've ever been in my life. It hasn't been plain sailing though, and actually on the weekend of Meg's baptism in early April this year, I had a big slip up, and I really beat myself up about it. It would have been easy at that point to just run away and hide, but I got myself to church to support my new friend. Sorry, I just looked at her. Got myself to church to support my new friend, and God showed me his forgiveness. And through Ben praying for me, I knew that these people would always have my back. Something that I've heard from numerous people here over the past 6 months. God showed me that day how much I wanted what Meg had. God showed me that day how much I wanted what Meg had. Through her passion and enthusiasm, I could hear her security in what Jesus was doing in her life. Just 10%, I wrote in her baptism book. If I could have just 10% of that feeling, I'd be happy. But he's now given me so much more. He's given me Christian friends, an inner peace, a love for church, especially this church, an excitement for collective, a way of worshipping I've never known before, an experience at wildfires, hope for the future, a desire to serve, a voice to talk to others about my faith, it's getting there slowly, self-confidence, self-love, joy, and most of all, a meaningful personal relationship with him. I still like to have fun. I still like to have a few drinks. I am still sarcastic. Those of you that know me definitely know that. I am nowhere near perfect. I'm a work in progress. I don't have it all figured out. I make mistakes. I have lots to learn. But I know that despite the pushing, God didn't give up on me. In fact, he waited there by my side for years, and I'm not going to give up on me or him either. That's why I'm getting baptised as an adult. I know what God has done for me. I know that he sent his son Jesus to pay the ultimate price for all the messed up stuff I've done. I know that he is Lord and he is in charge of the plan for my life. I'm not scared of the future, and I'm secure with where I am right now. And I'm glad that I can say that now. At the leadership day a few weeks ago, AJ was actually talking about me being a closed book when I first arrived, and now that the book is open, it's got lots of blank pages yet to be written. And actually James, one of the visiting One Church guys, said on that day, it's like looking at a tapestry from the back, where the threads all cross over each other. It's messy and you don't get what it's going to be, but when you turn it over, it's beautiful. An intricate, detailed picture is coming together, and it's not finished yet. I like that. I'm excited. So, I just want to say I'm so thankful for what I found here at Altitude. I'm so grateful for Ben and Emma and the boys and all of you. I may have been baptised 26 years ago, but it feels like a new beginning for me as an adult, and it feels right to publicly declare that to God, to you, and to myself.